Today is November 1st. It's a Friday. Still Friday. This week, I've managed to blow up one trading challenge. That's far better than the previous week, where it looked like I was blowing trading challenges with abandon. So what I see is that I made a change to my YouTube name, and I called it uh, Tilting Tower of Kiso. It's it's on a play that is in Italy. There is this leaning tower of Pisa, and and the premise of that is that, and I liken this to this poker name. Apparently, there's a company called Full Tilt Poker. And what happens is that there is a human condition that places me in a condition called tilt. This tilt essentially essentially uh, places me into a uh, I would say an altered state. It's an altered state where I'm detached from all logic and reasoning, and it seems to be like it's like it seems to be underpinned. If there's a word called underpinned, it's like a it's like a glass bottomed boat where I'm sitting inside this glass bottomed boat above the consciousness of what's going on. And 3 or 4 trades later, I come to my senses and realized that what I have done was contrary to the positivity, positive traction in my trading challenge. Essentially, either being blown up or essentially rendering my account irreparable. And the skill sets that I have does not allow me to recover from such a huge deficit. So, luckily for me, I have it has improved. It's been 4 years since my trading, and I'm beginning to shine light on the subject matter called tilt, and it is a very very serious part of my day trading life. So uh, getting a handle of it is somehow dealing with suppressing this condition. And I heard breathing techniques and walk. So there's two ways to address this, which is essentially taking deep breaths, uh, 10 breaths, so that I can pause from that activity to detach myself. So the other part is standing up and walking away. So it seems to be so it seems to be an engagement. It's an engagement of myself into this singular activity that has rendered my subconscious directly attached like a magnet. So whatever the subject matter is that impeded my progress towards uh, becoming positive in my trading has essentially it's I suppose it's like I suppose it's like um, juicing. It seems to be like a juicing kind of a situation where the pulp is extracted to the one side and the liquid is extracted to the other side. And that liquid essentially is the consciousness, and the subconsciousness is that pulp that is extruded through. So it is a process of extrusion of this mind through a finite, that's why it's like a tunnel vision. It seems to me there's a thing called tunnel vision. And that tunnel vision is essentially so confined. It is so confined that it strips away all consciousness and only allow the subconscious to make contact with whatever that particular activity is. That's why taking deep breaths is essentially extracting me from what is going on so that my brain can recharge. So perhaps there is some sort of a uh, there seems to be some sort of like a muscular portion of the brain. Actually, the memory is actually a muscle, isn't it? It's essentially a muscle, but it doesn't move, but it makes connections. It so something like that. I'm not a brain doctor, so I don't know how that works. But it seems like something is squeezing that something is squeezing that part of that consciousness to render it It's like it seems like it's like it choking it. I mean, it seems to be this tunnel vision kind of a concept is essentially rendering my brain to be extracted through a very confined area where only the subconscious can penetrate. So in order to extract myself from that particular situation, there's two ways of doing that. And one of them is, and I heard this from uh, my research on YouTube as I started to look into and expand my horizon in my trading. And I realized that one of the ways is to take deep breaths. The second part is stand up and walk away. Okay, just walk away. Whatever happens, then it essentially removes my subconscious from attempting to enter into this tunnel area, causing me to have this tunnel vision. And then when I extract myself, then I can gain my consciousness to analyze what is really happening. And one of the things that I've noticed is that I would lose, and I would still have some sort of consciousness in my trading. But the fact is, when I am attempting to go long as it starts to drop, there's no reasoning behind it, but the need to be right. And so after that sequence of losses, then what I end up is that ultimately at the end of it, I'm going to be correct. And what happens is that when the market turns into my thesis, which has been wrong like 20 times, okay, $5 or $10 losses for all that, that's approximately about $100 to $200 loss. And then finally, when it goes in my direction, I cannot reasonably think about what's going to happen on the next candle. And what I inevitably do is exit the trade and essentially shortchange my trade and leave maybe 90% of the move because my mind is working on a subconscious because it has already just gotten into this tunnel vision of looking at the price and I'm saying, okay, I'm going to be happy with this amount because I've lost so much. So what I need to do is improve on the way and the drawing in my consciousness, and it's not an easy thing to do when I'm finger trading. So somehow there's got to be some sort of like a systematic kind of a trading where it employs a software that allows me to now that's going to be worked on a little bit later. Um, perhaps I'm working on something that is humanly very difficult to do, and that's why it's so difficult. And so that's the part. Okay, I have to document it. I should have known this 4 years ago. I've been trading it. I've this is a reason why I lost about 250 prop firm challenges. Essentially, that's what happens. I would lose a little bit, and then I would just get like I would get tilted, and then when I get tilted, I would like size up just to get that back because it's part of that tilt. And then I would lose the trading challenge and I would buy it again and do it again, repeat. It's been repeating for over 250 prop firm challenges. So that seems to be the number one mechanism on a personal side, aside from having the fundamentals of trading skill set. So there's there's a there's a trading skill set that I need to improve on. The second part is improving uh, my consciousness, uh, always having this consciousness allowing me to trade properly. So this seems like it's really not too important. It seems to be on a very surface level kind of a thing, but this I seem to enter into this tunnel vision kind of a way, and so I'm not sure how that's going to be resolved. But I'm going to keep trading, and hopefully one of these days I will I will reach a point where this subconscious level of thinking in my trading erodes erodes away because I have traded enough and I have enough experience, and when I see it, then the traumatic events that occurs can be set aside, and so that I won't go into this tunnel vision where I'm like cycling through platform challenges costing $35 to $70 at a time, and multiply that. That's somewhere around $16,000 to $20,000 in platform challenges that I have just tossed away. So now, uh, it's a good thing. It's a thank God that I'm employed as a dishwasher where the owner is so kind to me, and so now I'm going to I'm going to reduce the amount of time that I'm washing dishes so that I can recuperate from uh, the day job. So on the during the day job, um, now that I'm 55 years old, and uh, physical activities are difficult to do. When I was young, maybe 20 years old, I was able to roof my mother's house by myself during the summertime in the dead of heat, and re-roofed it by myself, essentially lifting up these shingles, roof shingles, like carrying it on my shoulder and climbing it all the way up there. Uh, I don't know how I did it, but at that age, I was able to do that. But now, I mean, it would be it would be it would be incredibly difficult to do. And so what I need to do, so now that I have, now I'm going to put more time. I'm going to put more time into to day trading, and then allow my body to recuperate far better, and uh, perhaps I'll be less tired when I'm like trading, so that I can. So the ultimately the reason I'm doing that is to the reason I'm doing that is to essentially give my give myself a better opportunity to learn. Otherwise, my thinking is that if I am to continue in this trajectory where I am essentially um, working on a regular shift where I'm essentially too old to recuperate enough, and so I will perpetuate the cycle of a bust, just busting through all these challenges because I am old and I know it, and 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 I will be too tired to put my full effort into day trading, and it could be years and years and years and years down the road where I will be repeating this over and over and over again. So in order to give myself a better opportunity with with an enhanced uh, way, I have to reduce my time as a dishwasher to give myself and my body and my mind to recover, so that I can put more time into day trading, so that so that so that maybe, just maybe, I mean, this is very, very hard, so that maybe I can reduce the time for the learning curve into day trading, because the way that it's going now, it's going to take a very, very long time if I don't change something about myself in order to engage properly. If I keep engaging in this manner where I am physically and mentally tired, then I will forever be in this tunnel vision. And in order to separate myself from this tunnel vision, I have to reduce the amount of physical and mental uh, day shift job, so I could uh, I could I could give myself more opportunity to give myself a an opportunity to disengage from falling into this tunnel vision kind of way by making myself more exposed to day trading and be refreshed in my day trading. Okay, that's what I'm hoping to do as a as somebody who's as somebody who's doing this by myself without a coach, okay, without a mentor. I'm hoping I'm hoping I'm moving in the right direction. Okay. I'm trailblazing, which is essentially trailblazing because it's essentially it's not it's very difficult to do. Trailblazing is something that is very difficult to do. It could take a very long time because when some subject matter is so difficult to understand and trailblazing, it could be there's a thing called a rabbit hole. Okay, so that's where I'm moving towards now, and starting next week, the amount of shift hours should be less, and then that's going to give me more time to it's going to reduce the amount of physical labor and the mental labor, so that I can place uh, that energy and that physical endurance into this day trading to give myself a better opportunity to speed up the ascent towards the learning curve, and finally allow me to essentially become consistent.